Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back to I Allegedly. And I've got a good one for you today because free money does not work, guys. A lot to cover in this video. And please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. But let's get right into it. You know, we experienced something during COVID. Universal basic income was something that was basically talked a lot about how people just need to have money given to them to support the fact that they cannot get a job. And this kind of was taken off, and you had different people running for office saying that we need to give universal basic income out to people. Now, in my research in this, how many programs across the country do you think there are with free money, universal basic income? 2, 5, 6? How about 160 right now? 160 programs. So much so that Stanford is following these. And what it was proven, two things. Let's go back to COVID for a second. People that were given the unemployment insurance that did not have to have a job basically went out and didn't work. And some of these people were making more money than they've ever made in their entire lives and just didn't do anything during that time, which was absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. Some people overall were making, over $1,000 a week doing absolutely nothing. Didn't have to look for a job. You just were victims of the circumstance that we all had to live through. I'm at the Earl Burns Japanese garden that somebody suggested for me in Long Beach, California. This is absolutely stunning and absolutely beautiful. Just a wild, wild place to come. What's crazy is I tried to show up here and they said, no, you need a reservation. You cannot walk in. It's free to come in here, but you have to have a reservation. You just cannot walk in. So to get back to this, okay? When you give someone free money, what it does is it demotivates them. It makes it so that they don't go out and look for a job. They try not to better themselves. They try to live with less. And this has been done through EBT, welfare programs, things like that. But I'm going to give you two examples. Compton, California, they have a program where they give people $500 a month. You know what these people did? They stopped working a second job. Just take the $500 a month and I'm going to watch my Netflix and I'm just going to hang out and live my life, but I'm not going to work any extra. Why would I want to do that? So, guys, again, demotivating people to do this. Chelsea, Massachusetts. This is the one where, and I reviewed a lot of these. This one I really got a kick out of because what it did was it made people spend more on their leisure time. They took that money and spent it. They didn't go out and better their lives, pay more bills, pay off the cell phone. No, they went out and had more fun. Okay, well, good for them. Good for them. So this whole thing of, we need a world with less inflation. We need a world where we have seen childcare go up, according to this study, 14%. Childcare guys have gone up almost 35 to 40% during this time. Childcare is outrageous. And as a parent, when I was married, when my kids were young, we spent a bloody fortune to have our kids watched. Now, we had an amazing program, and I'm telling you guys this right now, I would have not changed anything. My kids love to talk about that program still to this day, and it's something that made a huge, huge difference in their lives. So it was worth the money, but we worked, and we had two incomes. We were beating our brains out to make it work, but people are just getting this money and doing nothing, So the report is great. Read it because it's fascinating. I'm telling you, you give somebody free money and it demotivates them. It makes it so that they just will live on less. And this is the problem with, welfare and with the SNAP programs and things like that. I get a kick out of this, and I've talked about this briefly earlier, where there are people on the app TikTok that have, basically shot themselves in the foot by going out and saying, listen, I have 6 kids. I make $7,000 in food allowance every month. I get this much in income. These people are making like $11,000 to $12,000 a year doing nothing but having babies and being a baby machine. So they live on, less. They drive BMWs. They drive Volvos. They drive cars that you and I don't drive. We don't buy $75,000 cars on this channel. And with that, these people are just, it's insane how they're spending this money. Well, what they did with the new administration was they came up with this Workfare. If you're able-bodied, go get a job. Go get a job. Oh, wow, that's terrible, Dan, that you would make us do that. So with this, they're making people be accountable for all this. Right now, I'm going to have a seat. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? This place is just stunning. It really is. Really, really is beautiful. Earl Burns Japanese garden. So with that, I mean, I got a kick out of this just because, we're going to have a world where everybody is given something. I'm telling you this right now. Everybody I know is having difficulty right now. Nothing is cheap. Beef is through the roof. Food is through the roof. Childcare is through the roof. Electricity is through the roof. It's funny. They're talking about how gas in some parts of the country are going to go down to less than $2 a gallon. Good for you guys. Drive all over the place. But I'm telling you, you're going to see it get to a point that people just cannot afford to go out. It's going to be a very, very light summer. I'm near the Long Beach airport, so that's what I'm underneath that. You know, read the Stanford program with the 160 programs. I mean, it's great. You know, a reduction in work and an increase in leisure activity. These outcomes still haven't been proven yet because Stanford, is Stanford and they hate most of us. But the idea with this is that we need to give everybody a chance to not work. What are you kidding? Okay? What do you think this does to inflation if you just write checks? We lived through that in 2021 and 2022 when it was insane. And nobody wants to talk about that and act like that's a big deal. It was horrible, guys. Inflation was through the roof. So let me know what you think so far. There's a lot more to cover on this. Now, do you know anybody that committed PPP fraud? Do you know anybody that lied about the number of their employees? Did things that were completely nefarious and completed, committed complete shenanigans on those loans? They're going to come after them. Another man in Detroit, Kadari Jabbar Long, went out and he ran Priceless Preservations Construction. Horrible name for construction company. But that guy went out and said that he had $875,000 a month in payroll and that he had 57 people working for him and that he was just big time. Only problem was they matched this stuff up, guys. He had basically little or no employees is what they found out, and committed PPP fraud for multiple loans, EIDL fraud for multiple loans, and now they're coming after him. They're going to arrest these people just like they did Mr. Long. It's just a matter of time, guys, until they come after these people. We've all heard the stories of the idiot that bought the Ferrari. You've seen it. I mean, I've had people send me stuff like this. Like, this guy bought this car. This guy leased this. Bought a building with it when he wasn't supposed to do that. Crazy, crazy stuff. Real estate, everything. They're coming after these people in a huge way. And you haven't seen anything yet. Nothing yet. Ray Dalio just said the first domino just fell with the economy, and that you're going to see massive people get affected by this, and the collapse will change a generation. How about that? The collapse will change a generation. This is going to be horrible because what you're going to see is you're going to see business change as a whole right now. You're going to see people get laid off, and the layoffs haven't even started yet. That's what people are saying right now. Because when you see companies that are major players in food, industrial, manufacturing, construction, everything, name an industry that hasn't been affected lately. It's everybody. It's absolutely everybody. So with that, you're going to see more and more layoffs. But Ray Dalio said that this is going to change a generation. Are you ready for that? Do you have money saved? Do you not need to work? Because that's where he's at right now. He's telling people they need to be ready for that. One thing that I got a kick out of was one of the largest barbecue places, which I think is horrible. I've never had a good meal at this place, is a place called Dickies. Dickies had the largest amount of franchises in the barbecue place. Now, again, individual one-offs, those places are the place to go to eat barbecue. Let's face it. The problem with it is that barbecue right now is so expensive. I was recommended this place, and Hey, I'll get some stuff for me and for my brother. It was $85 for this. Nuts, guys. Absolutely insane. So when you have that, how do you feed two people for $85 for takeout barbecue on paper plates? Okay? You can't. Now Dickies, at one point, think about this, guys. They had 570 locations, 570, and then went down to 340. And what did they do? Well, we attribute it to cutting back. And I want you to think about this. The average volume per unit, the average volume per store is a dismal $670,000 per location. That is horrible, guys. That is horrible. The average barbecue joint across the United States, average, is $2 million. So this is the type of thing that you have to understand. You know, you got to pay employees. You got to buy brisket in advance. You got to pay for everything. And it's very expensive to run these places. And you better hope you sell out. There's a place in South Orange County called Heritage Barbecue. Heritage is great because they get a line in front. When they sell out, they sell out. Have a nice day. Now, is it the best business model? I don't think so, personally. I think it's ridiculous that they don't have enough food. You can't sit down there and things like that, but the food's dynamite, okay? Now, to give you guys an idea, the average Chick-fil-A location, how much do they do in business a year? Well, wait a second. Now, think about this. They're closed on Sundays, too. Don't forget that. $9.4 million per the average Chick-fil-A. So if you were pressured into getting a Dickies barbecue joint and you thought this was going to be the thing that was going to change your life, and you and your wife were going to sit there and be business owners and own a barbecue joint, you got yourself a place that does $670,000 a year in sales. By the way, guys, you got to pay for the meat, got to pay for your employees, got to pay your rent, got to pay everything out of that. And places are losing money month after month after month. So there's that. Let me know what you think, guys, so far about this, because it's crazy. You're seeing this as a real problem. Let me know what you think so far. I'm going to finish this video with these last few things. Don't forget we have a private channel called I Allegedly Live. You sign at iallegedly.tv. Use the link below to do that. And we have a huge announcement coming out in the next couple weeks. Cannot wait to share that. Don't forget to join our email list so you can get it, because they're getting it first. And you use the link below. Citizens Property Insurance, we talked about them recently, how they want to get rid of a bunch of people. Well, they just had a win in court where people went out and filed hurricane claims in Florida. File this under a place in hell. Citizens Insurance doesn't have to pay these people's claim because they said that they took too long to file the claims. Now, again, guys, whether that's true or not, these people had hurricane damage, and there is tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars not going to get paid from the state insurance agency because of this. That is horrific, guys. That's absolutely awful that they did this. And you know, Citizens Insurance is they're celebrating this. Now think about this one. The U.S. Air Force, the Air Force, is going to buy Tesla Cybertrucks, and the reason for that is they think that they're going to see Cybertrucks in combat. So they want to be able to fight the Cybertrucks and know how to shoot and dispose of a Cybertruck. So they're going to go and do live rounds against them. How cool is that? I mean, gosh, do citizens get to watch that? Let me get invited out for that one, because that would be fun. So, think about that. And again, they're armored, is what they say they are, but you've seen the videos already of how they got damaged and what kind of damage they were inflicted upon, and it was inflicted upon them during even the early days of the original show and things like that, the broken windows and stuff like that. But imagine live rounds with the military, 33 of those vehicles. That sounds like fun, guys. It just does. Final thing out of North Carolina is there is a flurry. That's what we're going to end the video with. A flurry of people using counterfeit $100 bills. Guys, I'm telling you this right now. These bills are printed with 1980s serials numbers, so they don't have the wide strip on it, but they look like old bills, and they're passing the test. They used the paper that was printed on, that they would print money on. It was a cloth paper, so when you use the pen across it, it wouldn't show up as fake. So people just were lazy, used the pen, didn't hold it up to the light, didn't see the watermarks or anything like that. And there have been thousands and thousands of dollars worth of fake $100 bills that have been passed in that area. I'm telling you guys, my daughter, okay, she was probably 6 or 7 at the time, and we went to a fair, and she bought some plants from a guy and gave the guy a $20 bill that I gave her, and he gave her a counterfeit $5 bill. And we were blown away by this, absolutely blown away. Reported it to the event, and I said, well, they gave it to her and not me because she doesn't know what real money looks like. So, oh no, it was just a mistake, sir. You don't understand. He's a good guy. And, I went to the bank. The bank seized it. Okay. So, sorry, got to keep the $5 bill, sir. I'm not allowed to have that. So, when they get this money, you think, oh, well, they're just going to get reimbursed by the Treasury Department. No, they lose the money when that happens, guys. Isn't that crazy? So, again, if you see something suspicious, don't take it. Don't take it. Because, people are getting bold, but they're stupid. They're stupid to accept it. They're stupid to think that they would commit a major 10-year felony over counterfeiting for this. So let me know if you've been the victim of stuff like that. Share any stories you want at hello@iallegedly.com. And isn't this place beautiful? Just really nice. It's kind of tiny, but it's fun to walk around. Okay, I'm glad I did this. Okay. Hello@iallegedly.com is the email. I'll see you guys very soon.